Hello, Internet. James Allen from Out of 8, and today I'm playing real-time strategy game Warparty. Game features 3 campaigns, one for each of the factions. Pretty standard stuff there. Just kind of go around, build bases, attack enemy units. Sometimes you have to defend and stuff like that. Also has skirmish mode, which is what I'm going to show off. In addition to that, has a survival mode where you try to hold off your base against waves of AI units, and then online multiplayer as well. In the skirmish mode, you can go up against any of the 3 factions. You have the Wildlanders, which is pretty standard type stuff. The Necromaz will spawn zombie units whenever you kill an enemy unit, which is a little interesting. And then the Vidhara can recruit dinosaurs and rely more on power than any of the other factions. So I'm going to do the Wildlanders, and I'll go up against a random one. The AI is actually really good, so I'm going to play on normal so I don't get stomped while I'm trying to play. The skirmish AI is some of the better ones that I've encountered recently in an RTS game, where they'll actually build a lot of units, they'll expand out very quickly, they'll gather their resources very efficiently. Probably my lowest point of the game, my biggest complaint, is the number of skirmish maps. There's only 8. There's 4 1-on-1s, 3 2-on-2s, and a 3-on-3, which is kind of not very much content there. I'd like to have either randomly generated maps or a much bigger selection of maps in there. So we'll just pick this map here, and then we'll go against a normal AI at a random faction, so I don't know what I'm going up against. The game mechanics are very similar to Age of Empires, so anybody who's played that will be familiar with what's going on here. First step is to have your villagers collect food and crystal, which are the 2 main resources in the game, and queue up some more villagers. Then here's my hero unit. So, one thing you can do in the game is you can have these talents, which are kind of faction-wide bonuses. So I'm going to choose... Actually, let's do big game hunting. So I'm going to try to keep queuing these guys up. There's no infinite queues. You just have to kind of remember how many units you have to queue up. So I find it helpful to do control groups for your units. I'm actually going to probably start recruiting here pretty soon in case the AI comes over. Send the next guy over here, actually. So a little bit of micromanagement trying to get your stuff queued up here. But that, just takes a little bit of time to do that. These resources are finite also, so you'll have to expand out. You also notice that as soon as you queue it up, it spends the resources on it, so you have to really be careful that you don't queue up too much stuff, because then you'll run out of resources, which is, again, requires more micromanagement and trying to time your build orders and stuff like that. Alright, so we'll set that. I usually set my military buildings to control groups 2 and 3. And you can use the F3 key, you'll select all your units. In addition to having the Stone Age era characters in here, you also have dinosaurs kind of roaming around. You can actually recruit them if you're one of the factions. The wild dinosaurs are around, and all of your mounted units are dinosaurs, which is fairly interesting. Alright, so still trying to get... Oh yeah, max pop. This faction is very dependent on housing, so I need to build a bunch of houses here once I get the resources. So this faction's always food capped, basically, so you really got to go heavy on food production. Alright, so that'll hold me over for a while. Food. So, the buildings you have the house. Farms are kind of really when you run out of food. That's kind of the time to use that, because you gather a lot more quickly from these bushes here. Storage huts is a drop-off point for resources, which you're going to have to... I'm going to go down here probably next. Actually, let me get all my units up here and have them move. Make sure there's no dinosaurs down there, because these will run out pretty quickly. And then you also get additional settlements. The military units and then defensive structures, and then our research facility. All right, so there's nothing down here. So let me send one of these guys down here and build a storage hut. We'll get to the point where I will need, and actually I probably might just do it now, additional barracks. I usually find, this is going to run out real quick too, I usually find that you need about 3 barracks to kind of balance out how quickly food production happens. Especially when, my goal is to try to get about 20 food collectors. I think that is about right. That guy's collecting down there too. I'm probably going to put a second base thing over here. Alright, so that's done. So we're going to control group that as 2. And then I'll automatically split production up between those 3 things, which is kind of nice. Alright, so you 2 go over here for now. Let me make sure there's not an enemy over here yet. There also might be dinosaurs over here. Okay, so now these guys. I'm going to just, actually let me do the settlement here. And they are out. So all of you go down here. And I'm going to build more people over in this area. I'm going to change that to 0. Yeah, more people. Once I get enough food. Like I said, I always get food capped with these guys. Alright. So there's that. And there's my settlement. I should go after this power location. So I'll need to use some spells. Those are used for spells. And also one of the factions actually uses it to recruit units. Actually, go after that. That's an enemy one. Capture that along the way. Alright, food is doing good now. Let me build a barracks stable thing. No, there they are. Now, units will mostly auto-attack nearby things, but not... Even if they're in, like, their kind of field of vision, they won't necessarily do that. Again, this is on normal, so it should be fairly straightforward to take these guys out. Alright. Go after those dinosaurs. Yeah, this says it'll focus the camera on it, but it doesn't actually. Even if you right-click it or something else, it won't do it. We'll need more houses here. Build some dino riders here. Yeah, my food's fine. I'm just running out of pop, like always. I think I should be pretty close to upgrade. Yep, there we go. Units like to, when they're set on aggressive, like to kind of wander off on their own. It's kind of annoying. I still want to get this other power location. There, go over here. Alright, oh, I have 17, I have 17 idle. Hi. We need more food, don't we? Like I said, food goes quick. Yeah, I'll do that. So build that collection thing. Send some of them over there. That guy's idle. Actually, I'm gonna need another house. Build a house. Alright, so we got two. This is actually a pretty good location over here, too. Alright, I need to build, like, defensive stuff here. Yeah, I kind of... Oh, I did do my upgrade there, didn't I? Just need food and crystal for that. Alright. So, I do want to do another settlement thing. I'll probably use this guy to do it. I don't know where I want to necessarily do that, though. Near the food over here, probably. In between the food and crystal. Build settlement, please. Crystal's too low for those upgrades, yeah. Yeah, they're there. Like I said, the one straggler over there. You're limited to the number of houses you can build, so you have to. So you're limited to only 120 from those. So you do have to go out and do settlements, even if you don't actually kind of need them. Get more crystal. There. Do some upgrades. Alright, I think I'm in pretty good shape. Send everybody down here. And then I'll just go basically take over their area. On hard AI, it would have already been over in this area. This thing's almost done too. Yeah, basically at the point where, you know, you also have upgrades and stuff. Let's show that off. You can do medics. There's your upgrade building. $150. I'm almost there. So it's pretty good upgrades, but not a huge tech tree. Like this is all just gives +1 damage or +2 armor for basically everything. So where are all you? Jeez, you already went through all those? Gosh. I'm about to just throw them on farms. I mean, I have enough units where it's not really going to make a difference, so I think I'm just going to go attack now. Since I have 56 units. Alright, let's go. Attack move. Meteor! The units could also be a little bit more intelligent about picking on, well, going after nearby objects. They, like you see those units here would not attack these. It's like too far away even though they can actually see them. It's kind of annoying. Is that a settlement? Yeah, it's a settlement. And also not choosing to go after infantry units that are attacking them as opposed to just taking buildings over. This is where their base is. So that that requires a little bit of micromanagement, which the combat is a little bit too fast to really kind of mess with. 26 on them. Well, let's go over here, I guess. Build a settlement. Not that I really need it, because this guy's gonna get beat here in a little bit. Hopefully there's not enemies. Nah, he hasn't gone over here yet. Not that it matters. I'm gonna beat him over here. But that's basically it. Like I said, luckily the AI, yeah, there you go. I will accept your surrender. So, yeah, you only got a couple things over here. Trade posts. Because they were the dinosaur recruiting people. There you go, that's it. And then it gives you your little score thing, which is always useful. 120 as opposed to 28. Actually about the same number of workers, they just didn't do their military yet. And it'll show you like what time everybody got recruited, which I think is pretty interesting. But again, with hard AI, they're going to be like, they're going to build stuff quicker than a minute into the game. And then graphs for all your stuff. So there you go. So it's a pretty solid, enjoyable real-time strategy game. It doesn't really offer a whole bunch over, say, Age of Empires, other than the setting, which I think is pretty well done. I think the, Stone Age / dinosaur stuff is pretty interesting. But the game itself, at its core, is, pretty classic real-time strategy game. The three different factions are different enough where they... you have to kind of pay attention to which one you're controlling. You either have the more classic one, you have the ones with zombies, or the ones that can recruit dinosaurs and rely more on power. So it does change your build order and what you focus on a little bit more, and also which traits you choose for your units affects that also. I wish that the skirmish mode had more than 8 maps. That would be something I would want to expand out, either randomly generated, procedurally generated maps, or just having a bigger number of them. The campaigns are pretty standard fare, nothing too different or innovative there. Just a linear series of missions based on which faction you choose. Also has survival mode, which is entertaining once or twice, and then online multiplayer, which obviously, gives you more of a challenge, even though the skirmish AI is actually very competent. And then, in general, it gives you the, different types of units you can recruit and the different ways of expanding out, forcing you to expand because resources do run out over time. So you will have to expand out from your initial base fairly quickly, especially if you have a decently large army of workers collecting resources. And then you can decide, once you kind of reach the upper pop cap of 200, you can decide which upgrades to go after based on what the makeup of your army is. So overall, though it isn't the most innovative real-time strategy game, it is a good one, and I think that the very good AI for skirmish mode kind of pushes it above average in terms of the real-time strategy games, taking inspiration from Age of Empires. That's all I have for today. Till next time, bye now.